All right, I started recording. So, welcome
Wait,
everybody to our final week of our webinar series. Um, we are going to be discussing reflection activities. I'm going to show you how to create those for your students on Padlet, Flipgrid, and also using Google Slides. So, most of us probably heard of these things. It's just, again, taking a deeper dive. Padlet is a really good tool because it allows for collaboration, but it's well not or it still can also just be a responding board that you can leave anonymous, or you can leave it to where it's not anonymous and you have students also reply to others. So um, it's double reflective. I would even say, not in the sense of it's collaborative and them building something together, but I don't know. You put a prompt up and you tell people they have to respond to the prompt, and then they also have to respond to somebody else's post. So the kids are being able to be reflective of each other. So the only downfall about Padlet, if I'm not mistaken, you can only create 5 for free. Now I have more than 5 here, but that's because these are not all created by me. Only 2 are actually created by me. The others are ones that I'm just a part of. So I just go to make a Padlet. They have multiple different ways that it will look depending on what you're trying to get done. The most basic way is the wall, and that's every time somebody posts something, their post will just go wherever. And once the page gets filled up, the post will just continue to jump around um, all over the place, right? The canvas, as it says, is when you want certain posts grouped together or connected, but it's still just kind of, it's not one set order. The stream, this is like social media. Every post, it'll be a line of posts, and you can just keep scrolling. Um, the grid is really good if you were to continue to use Padlet, let's say for a weekly or daily reflection or bi-weekly reflection, whatever. You can now create, there's one Padlet. You can title each space as that day. Kids reflect. Next time, create a new column. Kids reflect. Same thing with the shelf, but even better with columns that completely separate them. Um, the back channel communicate like a chat environment, so it's not the same as the wall where it's just posts. This is definitely more for if you are doing the collaboration aspect. Um, you can make it where you're identifying things, talking about different maps, and the timeline as well. So, but for what we're talking about, the wall, the stream, the grid, the shelf, those are the ones that you would want to look at um, for this reflection aspect. And remember, anytime people have questions, please just put them in the chat. So, as I said, the shelf is really good because as the teacher, you get the opportunity um, to use one Padlet over and over again, and that can be the reflection. So, that date is 11/11. The next time they reflect, it may be 11/18, and so on and so forth. And it'll just continue to go on. Um, it'll continue to go on as long as you want it to. And that way, students can come right in and reflect. Let's say you had one board that you want to use, because again, you only get 5. So you got a board that you want to use, but you want it for all your classes. So now, obviously you just change the name of your classes. And each class, I've done this before with students showing work. I used one simple Padlet, and I just named it by the mod. And and when I went in, all the students were able to see which mod they were supposed to put their work underneath. And I didn't actually have any confusion. No students like went to the wrong mod or anything like that. And so once they come in, you can say I want it to be anonymous. So you just tell them they got to make a title. They could just call it reflection, right? And they put some type of reflection in there. They can upload files, um, put links, search the web, and find something they want to put there. They also can upload pictures, right? Once they're done, now it's there. If you want it to have their name, you can tell them they need to put their first initial, last name, or the opposite way, first name, last initial, whatever, and then it just continue down into the columns. So you can have your directions. So let me go back to my editing. You obviously title it whatever you want the directions for the student objective. If you have your questions aligned, if you know you ask more than one question, how are you feeling today? What? So those are your questions that you have. Once you save that, then now your students know automatically these are the questions we're asking. You can change them every week. So I have new questions. And so these can be your questions, and they automatically know, okay, these are the questions for this week. Or you could be the first one to make the prompt. And you can pose the questions right at the top for each week. And now when they come in, and this obviously is just things that you need to do pre. Um, Now they come right in. Boom. One. Good. Two. Eat. Those are two things they did. Right? And so you as the teacher, you have the ability to move things around. So if for some reason somebody started, I don't know, somehow somebody responded before you put your prompt or whatever else, you have that ability to move things around. Other cool things about Padlet, and it's all about what you want. You can change the font depending on how you want to see it. Work on the color scheme. You can change the wallpaper. You can add your own wallpaper by adding photos, drawing, links, uploads, searching stuff. Um, blur it out depending on what you choose. They already have multiple different wallpapers. Some people like to make their stuff look really, really pretty. Um, you can make it to where they have to put their name, but I believe this comes along with them logging in, which they can create free accounts. Or if you decide you don't want that, you can make it what goes first at the post. Is it the where do new posts appear? Do they start from the top and the oldest post is at the bottom, or do you want the oldest post at the top, newest post at the bottom? This is the collaborative piece. When you add comments, as you can see over here, it's moving. This is when students can add comments. You can decide to have that or not have that. You may just want to be able to allow them to like something, and they can give likes to each other. Voting up or down, depending on what you're having done, you may want to have this, may not want to have this, or giving star ratings as well, giving the 1 through 5 star, and then you also can give grades, right, up to 100, all the way down to 0. Well, I don't know why you would put it if you were given a 0, but you can give grades as well, or you can just have no reaction. You also can require approval before something gets posted, and you can make sure that profanity gets whatever Google sees as profanity, or I should say Padlet. I'm sure they just use some type of system where they see it and it'll get replaced with nice emojis, and you don't have to worry about some student posting anything. If you didn't have it to be required, you would probably always still want to have that filter for profanity on there. But you can always require it before anybody can post anything. That would be up to you. And again, you just say that these are options that you can change within your actual document. So if you messed up, you already put something. You're like, oh no, I want to change. I want to change something. Um, and then you can also have your icon, how your icon looks. I don't have an icon, so it's just this little thing up there. So for Padlet, for me, I don't require approval because I haven't had the problem. But sometimes for me, if you want to be proactive, I definitely fully understand wanting to be proactive and just turn it on. It just means that you're gonna the way actually well my Mac works. I'm not sure how it works with Dell because I'm logged in here. If I have a Padlet, I literally get a notification up here in my notification box every time somebody posts something. So that's the same way I would assume it would work if I had that approval. I would just get notifications all day whenever kids are posting things. And since I kind of want it to be faster, uh, I'm probably not going to have that approval on because then I'm going to have to read it before I hit OK, approve. And I wouldn't want to do that every time. But again, I understand needing to if that's what you need to do because you know your kids better than I know your kids. At any point, if for some reason you want to change the format, you always have the ability to do that inside. You don't have to worry just because you went in one way. That's the only way. Let's say you didn't want to do different mods. You were like, I only got 4 mods. I get 5, so I'm just gonna make one, and then you don't got to go do the whole thing over again for your next mod. You literally just click the remake button, and it's gonna remake it for you. So you only got to make it once, and again, you get 5 for free. I know. Um, Now, for privacy, you want to make sure it starts as secret. But if you're gonna have the students having availability to write it, I mean, you can do a password. That's fine, and give them the password. Or you gonna go ahead and make sure that it's public or private. No, not private. Sorry. So it's password or public. Those are the two, and you gotta change from read to edit or to write, not edit. You want to make sure that they can come and they can actually put stuff, but not actually edit and change anything on here. Because that's the problem. Sometimes people are like, why can't anybody write on a Padlet? Well, it's because their privacy is still set to secret. And that's why you can't do anything with secret. Again, if you're worried about people getting in who you don't want to get in, create a password, give the password in your post that you put in Google Classroom when you share it to Google Classroom and whatnot. Multiple ways to share it out. It shares directly to Google Classroom. You can do a QR code if you wanted to. You can copy a link and just post it somewhere as a link as well. And then you also will be able to save it later on to have, if you wanted to take it off of here, save it as PDF, image, whatever. All right, so Padlet definitely a great reflection tool. You can use it uh, as a reflection to help you as a teacher. Sometimes students don't know how to say what they may need or want out loud. And so, giving them the opportunity to say, okay, quarter one is over. What are, making different columns. Name something that you enjoy about quarter one. Name something that you need more, that you wish the teacher did more of. Name something that you wish the teacher would stop doing. And obviously, we know stop doing, they're going to say giving homework. Well, that ain't going to change. But, you know, it gives the students the opportunity to reflect in this area. It can be after each time you're finished with a standard. Name something that you feel confident that you can do. Name something that you need more help with doing. I don't know. Name something that you feel like you can teach somebody else to do. Right? So you can use it for multiple different items, and then because there are only 5. Once you need more space, save it as a PDF. You got it at any time, and go from there. I'm not sure if you can incorporate it into Pear Deck because, from my understanding, Pear Decks are just with Google Slides. But I mean, I'm sure it's a link that you can hop between during your Pear Deck. Are there any more questions on Padlet? So again, no. With the Padlet, I mean, if you want to put it in the chat, that's perfectly fine. If you want to share it to Google, you can share it right to Google Classroom, and it'll create activity.
How do you showed how you can use the same Padlet across different mods. Can you walk through that part again, please?
Yeah. So let's say I made this. I didn't want it to be mods. It's gonna say mods, but let's say I didn't want it to be that. Or what? Are you asking me like if I created this whole Padlet and I don't want to have to create it again, but I want my other mods to have it? Is that your question?
Yes.
Okay. So I created this one. It's all ready to go. All I do is click remake. And again, I've already reached my Padlet limit. You get 5. So as long as you haven't reached your limit, you would click remake. Let me go delete some. Let me go to my pad out here and get rid of some of these. And yeah, because I don't want this anymore anyway. I don't want to get rid of. All right, I just did that one right now. What? I don't have. Sorry, I know I'm not at my limit unless they consider archives as your limit too. So I'll just delete this one altogether. I don't really need it. Oh, put the code in. Hopefully Padlet don't make me look like a fool. I know I just hit delete Padlet. Why is Padlet making me look stupid? Is it still there? It is still there. Um, so if I go again, of course. Sorry. So
Maybe because it's open a couple times. You see how you see two of them?
yeah. Okay. All right, hold on really quickly. All right, so next up on our reflections are Flipgrids. Now we've all done Flipgrids because people asked us to do them. Um, this one, you sign in. Well, y'all might have to sign up. Well, all of us have done it, so you'll probably have signed up before. Um, do your educator login. You're gonna log in with Google. All right, so Flipgrids are pretty cool. Um, they're really good communication tools. It force kids out of their comfortability to have to really. It allows them to show what they truly know because they are putting the camera and they got to explain it. It's essentially like creating mini um, presentations. You could do your class presentation through Flipgrid. Kids have the ability to reflect on each other or not reflect. And so that is the great thing. So let's jump right in. As you see, I have multiple. A lot of these are from last year. Um, so you can create your group. So when they say group, you would just make your mod one. Definitely gonna want to keep it private. You don't want anybody just getting in, especially with the fact that it's our students. Let the students join with their student email. Also, you have a student code. Here, you have to just put at pgcps.org. That way, Flipgrid knows when the kids try to join into this, they have to put at pgcps.org. Um, Another cool thing is if you already have topics made, you'll be able to just pop them right in. So look at my creating Flipgrid topic. Now that you've created your group, you can share it right to Google Classroom. You can share the link or the QR code. All right, and so you share the link. Now it's an activity in Google Classroom. It will always stay in Google Classroom. That's how they know how to get to their group in Google Classroom. And so now we actually talk about making Flipgrids. So I guess I want to use my creating Flipgrid one. Right? Well, no, I need to show y'all all the steps. So you got to add a topic. What are we teaching this week? Well, right now we're just working on student reflections. So boom, we get right in. We get to create our prompt. I think I still got that thing copy and pasted. Yep, those are my 2 questions. How are you feeling? What did you do to prepare yourself? You get to choose how long students get to record. Do you want them to answer those 2 questions in 15 seconds? Do you want them to answer and they get 10 minutes? Up to you, depending on your prompt, right? Definitely wouldn't think it takes more than 45 seconds to them to respond to it. This is a big one. Topic moderation. If you want this to be very, very like reflective in the sense of you want them to be able to be open and honest without any fear of other people seeing it, then you're gonna turn this topic moderation on. So that way, even when they post something, it is not shown until you as the teacher come in and approve it. It also can just be something that you're worried about what kids are gonna say when they record stuff. That you turn it on as well and you watch them and don't post what is okay to be posted and don't post things that are not okay to be posted. All right. So now these are written directions and the title and everything, but we also know our kids a lot of times need to see videos of stuff, right? So there are multiple different media tools that you can put in to engage the students. So you can record a video. I know last year when I taught them how to do it, I literally recorded myself doing a Flipgrid and showing them exactly what I wanted them to record themselves. Like I did a problem. They had to record themselves doing a math problem. I recorded myself doing a math problem and saying, this is how you have to do yours. That way they had actual video evidence along with I had step-by-step instructions in my prompt as well. If you already have videos, YouTube videos, whatever, you can upload. You can upload pictures. You can add emojis to kind of make it like brighter and nicer. I never added a Kahoot, so it's pretty interesting to see what adding a Kahoot would do. But definitely something to play around with. Just give an example. Hey class, today you're going to be writing your reflective journal. You're going to ask the question, you're going to answer, well, not writing, you're actually going to be speaking. That's Flipgrid, even better than writing. But you're going to answer the questions, how are you doing today? And what did you do to prepare for learning today? Right? So now, hey also, class, today you're going to be writing your, don't want to hear myself again. So now you've added that video, and you'll see once we are done, you'll see where it pops up at. So I mean, no need to select a different way for them to join outside of the group. Let's go into our more options. If for some reason you want to add another video, like a Google Doc or whatever else, you add the link in here, put the title. If it's if you wanted them to read something, I guess, and it's on Google Docs, or you have a web that you wanted them to read and then respond to a prompt, that this is where you will add that prompt. You can even say when you want it to close this topic. So you opened it today, they got until the 18th to get it done. It opens and closes for you. How often do you want to receive notifications? Do you want every new video comment daily? weekly, or do you not ever want to get those emails like from Google Classroom that you get? You want to just go check on your own. It's very up to you. Allow students to download and share after creating their video. So this allows them to download the video they recorded and only the one that they recorded, um, or allow them to share the video that they recorded. That's very up to you. If you don't want them doing that, you just turn it off. It doesn't matter. They don't get to download or share others, but they do get to download and share their own. Allow students to receive notifications when new videos are added. Again, it's all about what you're using Flipgrid for, but this just allows for that collaboration amongst students. It allows them to know, oh, something got posted. Do you want them to be able to add a picture, or do you want them to be able to take a selfie? Do you want them to only have video? Do you want them to have none? I don't know why you would want none. You definitely want at least one or the other. Can they edit their videos and be creative with it, or do you want them just to record and that's it? Like they can't do nothing else with it. Definitely will always leave on video editing because it gives them that freedom to be creative and add different things. How do you want comments? Do you want them to be able to put text comments if they respond to each other? If you're allowing them to respond, you can always just hit none and then they can't respond to each other at all. Or they can do video or text comments. I'm just leave both on for now. Again, allow students to add links. Maybe you're having them use Flipgrid to reflect on a topic and you say they got to bring one outside source. So they get to attach that outside source to that video they created. View count. I mean, I probably would turn that off. It doesn't matter how many times something's been viewed, especially with the way our students are. Also, I probably would keep likes off. Because I mean, if you want it to be a social media type filler, definitely put both of those on. I wouldn't want it for that, so I wouldn't put it on. Allow students to add sticky notes while they are recording. Again, that's perfectly fine. It's something that you'll be able to see as you are watching their video. And then you even have ideas for feedback. You can do custom, where you get to say, so this was when they were doing their equations review, when they were doing their equations, I created like a custom feedback, and it gave descriptions of what they did and how many points they can get, what's the minimum, what's the maximum. And so when I went to go grade, when I had this on, when I went to go grade, I could use this as my grading tool. And I also did it for a presentation. It gave a description of what was needed, but you can definitely be more thorough. And both of those were added. Or you can just do the basic one, which is just on ideas and performance. So boom, now we create the topic. So again, now you already shared your group so for them to join Flipgrid. So if you want to refer them back to that every time, like say, hey, go to Flipgrid, go to that link in Google Classroom. Once they get there, they're going to see this topic. Or once you create this topic, you can just share the topic straight to them in Google Classroom as well, and it brings them straight to the topic. Either is good to do. Also, if you're already in class, you're in Zoom, you can always just copy the link and put it in your chat for people to get to. All right, so I didn't put a picture with my video, so that's why it's blank. But this is that video. Hey class, today you're going to be writing your reflect. So that's your video instructions. Also, these are where my instructions are that I typed. If you click that button, it brings you right back here, right? For whatever reason you needed to add something, edit, record a response, submit to discovery, hide topic, move topic, duplicate. So if you already know you're gonna do this is student reflection, let's say I put a title, student reflection on November 11th, which is already at the top anyway. I just hit duplicate, select what group I want it to be in. And I want it to be in Mod 1. You also can add it to more than one group. So now I see it tells me what group it's in. It's Mod 1, Student Reflections. It lets you see how many have been responded. if, all right, this is the second one, I click edit, student response number 2. That helps me see, okay, so this is student response 1, this is student response number 2. Down here is where obviously, you'll see the student responses and things like that. The codes are different. It lets you know, okay, this is discussion, this is in mod 1, this is student reflection 2. So, show one from last year, no problem. That availability to allow the students to edit and cut their video. So I'm gonna hold true. We're gonna be done. This is the simplest one, and this is one that we are doing in class. This is creating a reflective journal for your students using Google Slides. All right. This is something that I got taught about in my class. As you can see down here, I have my advisory class doing reflective journals. And unfortunately, we can't give grades in advisory, but some of them do it, some of them don't. And you can see a little bit. Some students, like the student added their name in a different color. The student changed their color. Another student changed their color as well.
Rita. Those are mini Ritas. Those people with the extra colorful stuff.
Yep. So, yes, I think Ms. Smith, you were asking about the time because they'll be good for presentations and in social studies class. Flipgrid definitely would be really good. That was my favorite thing, was because it was a great way. Flipgrid was a great way to make the kids show their knowledge of a topic in a different way, other than just asking questions, other than them just answering questions. So, pretty simple to make the reflection journal. You have multiple things you can do, right? So, title it, reflection journal, or whatever you want to title it. You can allow them to title it in your prompt. You can have them title it, right? You may want to have them answer the same questions. I know for mine, I put I have them rename it as entry 1, put the date, right? And then whatever questions you have for them, if you want to give them questions and they just respond to all of it in paragraph form, that you can do it like that. If you want to have them go ahead and have their questions there. Let's see, do I still got my copy and paste on? I don't have my copy. What is it? What is that? All right, I just got that dumb fill color for some reason. Right? So you can have them answer the same questions. In my advisory mod right now, we watch a motivational video for the first 5 to 8 minutes of class, and they're responding in the reflective journal about the video we're watching. Or every day you can have, every time you do a reflective journal, you can have them just create a new slide and add the prompts. So now let's jump into Google Classroom, because you can be doing it like this. When you go into Google Classroom, you create an assignment, right? So I didn't say what I was doing. You're going to click Add, Google Drive. Reflective journal is just what I started. You're going to want to make sure you make a copy for each student, right? And so you title it. And you can put your prompt right in your instructions. Put your prompt right into your instructions. And then you're able to add it each week you can add it to a topic. You can even add a rubric so that they know exactly what they have to, how they have to answer the question, right? And then once you've made it, something you can do, because we have one here, is you can edit it from week to week. So for this week, I can edit it, boom, put my new questions in, click save, and inside of the stream, move it to the top. So now it's moved to the top. My new questions are in there. So they know, okay, how I felt. Those are my questions for this week. It's at the top. My next week, I come in, go to edit. Right? There's my new prompt. Click save. When the students go in, they'll go straight to their actual reflective journal, and they can put their question. And then they respond. And then it's up to you. Make sure they put their entry. And these things definitely have to be repeated until it becomes normal. I've had kids who just made a whole bunch of duplicate slides because they knew they were going to keep having to do it week to week. So I really enjoyed my reflective journal. If your students are very used to using your Bitmoji classroom, you could put the prompts in there each week, and they know how to just get if your Google Classroom is very organized, then they know how to get to their reflective journal, and they know, okay, this week let me go to classwork, let me go find my reflective journal. All right, I got a new thing I gotta write in there, right? So it was very, very useful for me. Let me pull up one of my reflective journals. So you see even I think I got one close to the top. Right there. One second. All right, there it is. So every week, this is mine. I would get some type of questions, and actually, we would have to respond to each question in its own slide, which is also another thing that you can do. So or statement, whatever the prompt was. So this is a prompt, had to respond to it in its own slide. Here's another prompt, and these were all so like some prompts you want them to add images. You're reading a book. Compare students on page 38. All these were all within 1 week of questions. We shared it amongst all the students, so I had people who would come and comment on my things. And so this is also just another way of using a reflective journal. I just thought it was really, really cool way of doing it. And this is more of a college style level, having them have to fill up a whole slide answering one question. But all of them weren't the same length. Like these are small, whereas this one is a lot longer. And it just depended on what the question was. This one is totally different than all the rest of mine were, just because that's what the questions that were asked. All right, and all right, so that's all that we have for today. Thank y'all for joining this webinar.